What's up? It's your girl Chelsea, and this is my glory story.
I put it on, I got that oil dripping on me head to toe. Ain't my fault that I was chosen any minute, money.
I thought about this for a long time, truthfully. Where a moment in my life where God literally showed himself to me. Like, I've been in church my whole life. Since I was a baby, my dad has brought me to church, my uncles, my grandmother, so I know who God is, I know what God is about. But when I realized who he really was, it wasn't until I was like 25, not gonna lie. I was in the military. It was a moment in my life where I just felt like I was just losing it. I was just going, I wouldn't even say at the time I knew I was losing it. It's like when you're having so much fun, you think what you think is fun. I was drinking, I was smoking, I was partying, I was hanging with my friends, I was having a good time, had my own place, had a family. I just was having a bond time. But the moment I found God was 25, I just know for sure. Finding God at 25, just give you like a background, like where I came from. I was in the military. I was wilding. I was having the time of my life. Honestly, at the time, I thought it was the time of my life, truthfully. Drinking, smoking, hanging with my friends, partying every day, like just doing whatever I wanted to do. Being in the military, I felt like I was making people proud at the moment. It was a lot of good stuff going on. But it was like the hardest time in my life ever. And it's like, people get this misconception that because you grew up in church and because your parents are, ministers or whatever the case may be, that you just always been connected to God. It was a moment in my life where I disconnected from God, and that was around that time. But it was a moment where I felt like everything that was going on that was at one point good had all just turned to like bad, like damaged. Everything was just messed up. I had lost my son. I was, pregnant. I was excited. I was happy. I was about to find out what I was having, and I just had a moment. Went to the doctor and found out, that my son wasn't there anymore. So that moment in my life was the first time I was like confused. Like, God, really? Like, your baby girl? Like, you gonna do me like that? I was really lost. I was confused, and that started my detachment from God. And it sucks to say it like that, but I feel like a lot of people have that moment where they're like, it's not that you don't believe in God, it's not that you don't love God, it's just, God, I don't understand. And I didn't know that not understanding was a good thing till now. And I truly didn't understand. I was just so confused. I didn't want to pray. I didn't want to talk to God. I didn't want to talk to people. And that's just the thing that I went through. And I knew God, and there would be moments where I would like, I know I need to pray. Let me say my prayers. And I just kept doing that. And then I went to a point in my life where something really bad happened to me, like really, really bad. And I said I wasn't gonna say it, but I feel like there are people out there that truly, I feel like you guys go through the same things. But I was in the military, and I was raped by somebody who was very close to me, very, very close to me. And being confused already, and then having that happen to me, it made me even more confused. Like, God, come on, like, what's going on? Like, I just questioned everything. Like, everything bothered me. Everybody, like, anytime you would talk about something, I'd just be like, Like, I just was so overwhelmed with what was going on. And then at the same time, like maybe like a couple months later, a year later, I ended up going through a divorce. I was married. I ended up going through a divorce because he couldn't handle everything that was going on, plus what me and him had going on. And so I just didn't know what to do. I really didn't. I turned to alcohol even more. I turned into, I don't like to say alcoholic, but truthfully, if we're being real, right, this is my glory story. I'm not who I used to be, but that's where I was. I turned to alcohol. I turned, the other cheek to the things that I grew up on, because I felt like I had been let down. And that just was a downward spiral from there, honestly. I turned to alcohol. I mean, when I say alcohol, I was drinking every single day, morning, noon, night. It was the only way I could get things out of my head. It was the only way I can function. It was the only way that I can like wake up every day and be like, all right, I can do this. Like, that's the only thing I had, or at the time was what I felt. And I came home, 2017, I came home and I still did the same things. But I was connected to people who were connected to God still. And I'm grateful because even in that moment when I was doing all of the bad, I was partying, I was turning up, I was cussing everybody out, I was fighting people, it just didn't matter. Those people never judged me, and they just kept steering me to God without making it seem like I was being forced, like, you gotta do this, you gotta do that. And I'm grateful for those people because I feel like a lot of us don't have people like that in our lives, and I feel like that's why a lot of people feel like they can't come to church because you're going to be judged and you're going to feel like somebody, you know, is going to look at you a different way. But like, I have tattoos all over my arms. I used to say all the time, like, I'm not going to church. I'm not going to church like that. But you hear it all the time, come as you are, and you don't really know what that means until it's like, okay, I got to come because I'm broken. And God never asked us to be healed all the way. So I just started going to church more. Going to church, you know, I grew up in the church, so I was going to church. I always loved God. I'm still praising God. And then, you know, it was like one day I just woke up and everything was like different. I started praying more, started getting my time to God more, and I just knew I didn't want to do those things anymore, but I was still doing them. And then one day I woke up and I was like, this is it. It's the last day, Lord. Like, I'm really coming to you, and I'm just going to let you know I love you. I hope you forgive me. I'm sorry. I just gave it all to him. I really let everything that I was going through go. And of course, it's hard. There's not a day that goes by that sometimes I'm not triggered. I don't think about what happened, but the love that God showed me in that moment, because when I say I was doing crazy things, there's no way I would be sitting here today if it wasn't for God. And I know that now. Back then I didn't. I thought, you know, I'm fine. I can run from the police. I'm fine. I can drink every day. But it wasn't like that. It was God was protecting me because he had a purpose for me. He had a calling on my life. And at the time I might not have seen that. And my cousin and me always talk about this, and she always says it's a blessing in disguise. I didn't know why I lost my son. I was confused. That's the first time in my life where I really said, whoa, like, hold on, God. Like, you know what it means to me to be a mom. Like, I've always wanted to be a mother. I've always wanted a family. I've dreamed about it. So why me? And I just know, you know, it's a blessing in disguise. We won't get into too much detail about it, but it's a blessing in disguise. You know, I love my son. I wear this necklace around my neck. People think I'm crazy, you know, but it is what it is, right? I gave birth to a whole baby that I was not able to, you know, watch grow up. I wasn't able to, you know, see, and I'm still so thankful. Like, I'm so thankful. Like, my son is in a whole better place than I would ever be right now. Like, earth is nothing compared to heaven. So I'm grateful that he didn't have to grow up seeing me like that. I'm grateful that, you know, I didn't know I wasn't ready, but God knew I wasn't ready. My divorce, you know, it was like, I grew up in the church again, so I believe, like, you should not get a divorce. But sometimes it's like, that's just not a relationship. You have to have somebody who's equally yoked, and we weren't equally yoked. So I knew that, and I didn't understand it until I realized, like, dang, I really went through all of that in a 2-year time frame. I went through all of that stuff in a 2-year time frame. Some people don't make it out. Some people don't. Some people are depressed. And I went to the depressed stage, believe me, like, it's multiple times, where I actually got to the point where I was going, you know, all right, God, I'm done. I'm good. I'm ready. You know what I mean? Like, where you get to that, we're all depression and anxiety, and it took over. To a point where I was like, you know, I don't really care about living. It is what it is, you know? And I'm just grateful that he brought people in my life that I didn't block out, because there are people you block out. I didn't block certain people out of my life because I knew that I needed them. And I didn't know I needed them that much, but I knew I needed them. And I sit here today, and I'm not perfect. God never asked me to be, and I know that now. I still, you know, there's still days when I do certain things that I know God might not be proud of, but he's not judging me for. And I just live my life like in the most positive way I can. Like, I try not to let certain things get to me. I realized, I started a business with my family and some friends, started a business where I never knew that I would be an inspiration to people. And it made me realize, you know, dang, this might be why I'm really here. Like, I have a story that somebody else might need to hear to help them get through whatever they're going through. I'm just grateful. I really am grateful. I'm in a new chapter in my life. I'm 27 years old. I'm about to be 28. I know I look like a baby, but, you know, God just made me look good, okay? And I'm the happiest I've ever been. No, I don't have a family right now, which is something I dream of, but I'm okay with that, because I know I pray what I want every day. I mean, for my ladies out there, pray for what you want. For my men out there, pray for what you want. From the crown of their head to from the crown of their head to the sole of their feet. Every feature, everything you want them to do with you, how you want them to act when it comes to a family. When it comes with your life, do the same thing. What do you want out of life? How do you want to live it? What kind of house? What kind of car? And I've never really manifested. Like, I've spoke things. Like, I always speak things into existence. But I didn't really know the power of that until last year, really. So 26, 27-ish. I didn't know the power of that until then. And then just like doors just started opening. Like, people just started walking into my life. And there are seasons where people are going to walk in your life and they're going to be there for a moment to help you get through something or help them get through something. And then there's going to be a moment where they're gone and new people are going to come in. And I want you guys to understand that I'm a very loving person. So it hurts me when people walk in and walk out of my life. But it's a reason behind everything. Like, God doesn't do anything without already knowing why, right? And I don't know what it is that some of you might be going through or what you guys have been through, but I want you to know that, like, God sends people to you. Open the door for them. Let them help you. Let God help you, because that's just God speaking to you. He just has to get to you a different way, right? This isn't saying tomorrow you need to wake up and stop everything you're doing. It's a gradual process. Nobody can judge you but God. I'm grateful. I can't even express how grateful I am to be. I'm nowhere near where I want to be, but I'm so much closer. And it just brings me, I can smile every day now. I don't worry. There used to be times where I'd be scared to be around people. Like, coming over here to do a video would never be something I would do. Like, I get uncomfortable. But now it's like, bad things are going to happen. I'm not going to sit here and tell you they're not. Bad things are going to happen. And bad things happen to God's children, which all of us are. But, you know, the people you say, I grew up in church, and all good things happen to them. No, bad things happen to everybody. And it will still come, but it's how you react to the situation that's going to help bring you through it, right? If you trust God, if you believe God, if you know He's going to bring you out of it, just let Him, just hold His hand and just do it. Just walk.